Who says it's not time for Halloween DIYs yet? I'm Jamie, the Crafty DIY guy. We are going to take these plastic spiders. You can get them at Dollar Tree in the $1.25 section. Some of these puck lights, and then I have these vinyl siding hooks. You can buy these on Amazon. I think I have these in my storefront below. Grab some of these Dollar Tree puck lights. A lot of people don't realize they do have a little bit of a hanger hook on the back of them, and then there's also an adhesive back, so you do have options. I took mine and just put them directly onto the siding. They're going to come off real easy. I've used these in the past. Hook your spider through your vinyl siding hook, and look how cute this is for your front porch. I am so excited about this. I was obsessed with this. Now, you may have noticed those pumpkin pillows I had outside. Well, those are actually Dollar Tree chair covers. And what's so great about these chair covers is that they are sealed on 3 sides. So you've only got to stuff one side of these pillows. Everybody is going to be doing this. I literally just filled mine with an old pillow with stuffing that I already had. They are a generous size. Glue it along the bottom. How cute is this? Now, these are plastic, so I'm not keeping these inside. I just wanted you to kind of see how they would look on the couch and the size of them, but look at them on my front porch. I love these so much. Break their bones. We're also going to have some of those wood blocks that you see to the left there. I'm using my little tool here. I always forget the name of this tool. Let me know in the comments. I'm going to take my blocks outside, spray paint them black. Now we're going to add some glue onto the bottom of our kind of salad tongs here because they end up really cute as home decor. You could use this for anything. I thought it would even be fun to put some family photos in there or possibly some jewelry. Lots of very cute options. I saw these trays and I loved them. Unfortunately, there was only one that was in black, and my friend that was shopping with me wanted it. So I told her not to worry. I would take it. I would spray paint it black. Do you not love the way I placed the sunglasses, by the way? Great for coffee table, great for accessories. So many fun ways you can use this, and it looks really kind of fun and just kind of chic. I'm telling you, more and more easy DIYs. These spider bowls, I've been looking for them forever. This 2-pack of bowls that you can get in the kitchen section at Dollar Tree. I'm telling you, so cute. Take them outside, spray paint them all black, fill them with Halloween candy, fill them with knickknacks. The great thing about it is you can easily change this out and put whatever you want in here. Candles, like more candy, food, snacks, all kinds of very cute options. Now, this next DIY, we're going to take this and gather together mat, and we are going to actually flip it over on the other side because I wanted to use this lighter side. I thought it would be easier to paint. Now, the first thing that we're going to do with this is we are going to paint this in orange color because we want our pumpkin to pop through, and we want the orange of the pumpkin to show through on a black background. So my stem is just a wee bit too long, and I am going to kind of cut this down. I just took a straight edge, cutting mat, and then my box cutter opener thing, and we are just going to use that and just kind of go right across the top. It ends up becoming the perfect size. So lots and lots of orange spray paint. Went outside, totally covered this with my orange spray paint. I think I did 3 coats, and then I'm going to bring my pumpkin into play. And for the pumpkin, we are going to center that up. We're going to make sure that he has a good stable system there. And then I started spray painting around, and when it was done, I have the cutest custom floor mat or doormat that I have probably ever had. Now for this next DIY, I had this Dollar Tree kind of haunted house shape. I also had this great wreath that I picked up at a yard sale, and I wanted to kind of change the color on them a little bit. And I took them outside and we were going to spray paint them black. Now the other thing that I did do was add just a little bit of highlighting in there so you can kind of see in the center there, I did spray paint with some antique bronze just to give it a little bit of pop and a little bit of color. Now, I lost the footage, unfortunately, here where I added kind of the Dollar Tree florals and some of the garlands and things. But when it's all done, this is super, super cute. And I love the way that this looked. I'm so sorry I lost that footage, but I had to share this with you because I loved the way it turned out. Creepy little light that we can make with some Dollar Tree finds is going to be this little lantern here. I'm going to take these, they're not really skeleton hands. I'm going to call them zombie hands. And we're going to create just kind of a spooky looking lantern. Now, I did use just a little bit of chalk paint here in this bright red. We're gonna call it blood red, and we're gonna take the fingers of those little hand pieces and dip the fingers in there, and then we're going to kind of make it look like, you know, there's some blood and they're trying to crawl up and maybe grab the lantern out of your hand here. And we're gonna take these hand pieces and we're just going to glue them onto the sides and kind of match them up with those fingerprints that we're creating. Now, I'm going to do this all around the lantern here, and some of them you can even take and you can cut them down, and obviously be careful with that. And then once again, just kind of painting those tips, and then adding some black ink chalk paint to the hands, and just kind of aging them a little bit more. And you've got kind of a creepy looking little lantern here. I think this is so cute for Halloween. Now this next one is kind of a creepy DIY as well. We're going to use some of that leftover chalk paint that I had, that leftover blood, if you will. And we're going to take these clear chopping mats. Now I need a inspiration, so I'm going to use my hand. We're going to take this chalk paint, and yes, I am painting my hand because I am covering my hand in blood. And we are using a combination of that brush that had the black ink chalk paint on it, as well as this red, which is why you kind of see some of the black in there and some of the darker pieces. And you're going to want to go ahead and coat a pretty thick amount. Now we're going to just take our handprint, and we're going to take our hand rather, and we're going to create a handprint on that chopping mat. Now I did wash my hands, and then I did it with my other hand, as you can see here, and it creates two little blood splattered handprints on those clear chopping mats. And then after it dries, you're going to cut those out, and you are going to have a very creepy DIY that I will show you a little bit. Bats. I found more of the wood bats. If you saw my last haul, you know that I wanted to find some of these locally. I grabbed these when I was in Denver, and I was able to find 4 more. So I took them outside. Very, very simple. Spray painted them with some black matte Rust-Oleum spray paint. Look at my fireplace. I'm sorry, it just snorted too. I don't know if you heard that. I love the way this turned out. Those bloody handprints look so cool on the fireplace, and I love the way the bats are coming up out of the fireplace. You may have noticed my little ghost friends that were in the fireplace there. These are from Dollar Tree. I just simply bought 5 of them, and I added them inside of my fireplace. And when it's all said and done, you've got the cutest little fireplace. My next spooky DIY, we're going to take one of these plastic hands from Dollar Tree. You're also going to grab a glass bowl or a plastic bowl. I grabbed mine at Dollar Tree, and then also a glass candlestick. First thing we did was take the hand and put it palm side down. The reason why we're doing that is because we're going to be cutting a hole in the top of the hand for our candlestick, and you want to make sure that that hand is kind of scooping up, if that makes sense. So go ahead and take your candlestick and just trace around it. I'm using a Sharpie. That way I have a nice thick line that I can trace around with my cutter. And you're simply just going to cut a hole in the hand itself. Now I'm using my tool from Slice. I love this tool. It's a handy tool. It's made with a ceramic blade, so it's actually pretty safe to use because, as you can see here in a few minutes, it's not going to cut me. It has a sharp blade. It definitely cuts through multiple surfaces, but as you can see, it didn't cut my hand. So no spooky Halloween injuries here. And then you can see that the glass candlestick fits perfectly inside that hand, but I'm not going to glue it now. Actually, I'm going to take both of these pieces outside and we're going to spray paint them black. So that part, I was a bonehead again and didn't film. So through the magic of television, now they're black. The hand itself, I did tape down those fingers with a little bit of electrical tape just to kind of get the flexibility in those fingers that I was going to need. Now, here I am going to go ahead and add a generous amount of hot glue, and I'm also going to add a generous amount of E6000, and we're just going to glue that hand directly on top of that candlestick, kind of like you see me doing here. Now, again, I used a little bit of my E6000 quick hold and then also some hot glue just to make sure that this hand would stay sitting on top of that candlestick. So I let my hand sit for about 3 hours, and now it's strong enough for me to work with. The bowl is dried as well, so now everything is a nice consistent black color. I used the flat black paint from Rust-Oleum. Now I'm just going to be taking some E6000 and putting it in the palm of that skeleton hand, and you'll see that I'm kind of doing it on the outside. I'm kind of making like an outside ring of this E6000 quick hold, and then in the center I'm going to add some hot glue. Typically when you put hot glue and mix it with the E6000, it causes the E6000 to break down some, so this will actually help hold that hand in place a little quicker, or that bowl rather, in place a little quicker, and then also give it a sufficient amount of time to dry. I also let this sit for about 3 hours before I started the next phase of the project. Now, you could literally leave it like this if you really wanted to, and it certainly would be very cute, but I want that hand to look like it's holding the bowl. So now I'm going to take some E6000 quick hold again and just place it on each one of the fingers. As much as I do love this glue, I do think this would have probably worked better and faster if I did use some super glue. So that's a tip for you if you want to try and recreate this. Now, you may remember that I bent those fingers forward with some electrical tape before, and the reason why I did that is because I want there to be a lot of flexibility in these fingers as I'm bending them over. So just make sure that your glue has good contact with the hand or the finger itself, and then also against the bowl. And then I'm just going to go around and add my glue onto each one of the fingers, and then glue, or tape rather, the fingers up against the bowl so everything holds nice and strong. You want to make sure that this part stays glued on for sure. And again, I let this dry for probably about 3 hours, leaving that masking tape on there. And after everything is dry, this is what the hand looks like holding the bowl. I'm obsessed. I love it, but I do want to age it just a little bit. So I'm adding my favorite thing, the antiquing wax, onto the hand itself. I left it there for a few seconds and then just kind of slowly wiped everything off. I did this nice and slow because I didn't want the glue to come undone from the hand, but also I'm just making sure that I don't really remove all of it because I do like the way that looks. I think it makes it look like that hand is a dirty old skeleton hand holding that bowl up, which is going to be very, very cool, as you can see here when it is sitting by the front door, filled with candy, just awaiting trick-or-treaters. How cool and creepy is this? And for my last creepy project, I'm going to be making a lantern. I'm taking 2 of these wood plaques that I picked up at Dollar Tree. I love these and they're good and solid. And then when I was at Dollar General, I grabbed 2 packages of these dowel rods. First, I took my mouse sander by Ryobi outside,
and I did sand down these plaques. I didn't bring my tripod out here, so it's kind of hard for me to sand and show you how this works, but trust me, that sucker is good. This is what the plaques will look like after they're all sanded. I'm going to go ahead and remove that hanging hardware off of the backs of those because you're not going to really need them. And then don't worry, I do remove that sticker or that label in the middle. So now I'm just taking my dowel rods and I'm just gluing them in the corners of one of those wood plaques, kind of like you see here. I'm just adding a generous amount of hot glue in that corner and then just kind of twisting that dowel rod just so I get good glue coverage on all sides of it, I guess. And then once I did that and had all 4 of those in place, I let it sit for about an hour, I would say, so that glue was good and solid. And then I added more glue on the tops of the sticks. At least that's where I started to do it this way. And then I realized that I was being a bonehead and I could just flip this over upside down. So yes, here I am putting some glue on the end of the sticks, thinking that that would be a good idea. And then I realized, oh yeah, I can just flip it over and do it like this. So I gave it the old flipperoo and then just added some glue in the corners and reinforced those sticks that were now on the bottom of the lantern and just again waited for them to dry. And once my glue dried, I took my lantern outside and gave it a good coat of black paint. Then I wanted to build some sides on my lantern to kind of make it look like it was a graveyard. So I had this leftover fencing from a summer project, and I basically cut down one centerpiece kind of like so to use as my template. And now I'm going to take my little pink snipper shear things that I grabbed at Dollar Tree in the Crafter Square section, and I'm just going to create 4 of these arches and just cut right through this. It's very cheap plastic. It goes through this very, very easily and takes really minimal effort. So now that I have 4 of those center pieces, I'm just going to start gluing them on the outside of our lantern, kind of like so. I'm literally just kind of fitting them in between, and the tension from the wood is holding them in there with some glue. Now, for this plastic hand, I wanted to create a hand to make it look like it was coming up out of the ground. And I took this hand and I also cut the end of it off, kind of like so. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I'm going to be sticking these little glue sticks, or these glow sticks, rather. That would be funny if it was glue sticks. I'm going to take these glow sticks and actually stick them inside of each one of the fingers of my hand. And that, well, not my hand, but this plastic hand. And the reason why I'm doing that is because, as you can see, it lights up the entire hand all the way up through the fingertips, which I think looks super cool and very, very creepy. Now, if you're making your lantern perhaps for Halloween night or even the month of October, that's still like a month away, you could very easily just reserve your glow sticks and not do this step, but for the magic of TV, I wanted to show you guys. But look how amazing it looks. And then I'm just taking some hot glue, and I did glue my hand down for the purpose of the video. But again, it's hot glue, so it will come out pretty easily. Now for around the hand, I am going to take some of the Spanish moss that I had, and I'm just going to kind of fill in around the base of the hand just to kind of give it that creepy look, like this is, again, kind of coming up out of the ground. And then I do go through and I just add some Dollar Tree florals. My Dollar Tree didn't have a whole lot of florals just yet for Halloween, so I kind of settled for the purple and the black variety. But again, it worked out fine. I don't despise those colors at all. In fact, I think they're kind of cool looking. And I am just literally going to start placing them kind of all around in the cemetery part of it. Now, what I think is super cool is that they do come with these little spiders and little bats and little pieces, which I think are really, really amazing and a lot of fun. once everything was done. Then I also took to the top of my lantern and just added some extra floral treatments on top just to kind of continue that beautiful purple, creepy black color that you see there on the top. And this is what it looks like when everything is complete. I love the way this looks. I especially love the way that that hand looks. And this is what it looks like with the lights dimmed. Again, super creepy. And I love the way those glow sticks just highlight each one of those fingers. Again, you can make this as creepy or as tame as you like. I think this is a good middle ground.